Awesome. All right, everybody, welcome and thank you for taking the time to be with us today at Connect AI Innovators, a pitch competition that brings together leading members of the media with companies innovating with artificial intelligence. I'm Jim Glade and I'm a partner at Espacio, which is a media incubator, as well as Publicize, a PR firm for growth stage companies. I'm joined today by our VP of Events, Salome Muriel, as well, who helped organize this event on the backside. We're really pleased to be joined today by a number of leading journalists who report in the fields of AI, technology, business, and startups. And we're equally privileged to host 7 exciting companies offering innovative AI solutions as they pitch their ventures to these distinguished media judges. Before we begin, we're also very lucky to have 2 special guests that are going to help kick us off for this competition and get us in the mood. I'll bring each one up individually and let them speak for a couple of minutes, and then we'll go on to the next. First, it's always a pleasure to host Paul Orlando, who's an adjunct professor for the Lloyd Grief Center for Entrepreneurial Studies at the University of Southern California and the director of the USC Marshall Grief Incubator there. Paul works with businesses founded by USC students, alumni, and faculty, and teaches growth hacking, venture initiation, and other subjects at USC. And recently, and actually, I think it was last year, they recently ended their first AI incubator program at the university. Paul's also an accomplished author. He wrote a book on unit economics called Growth Units, and his latest book, released just this year, Why Now? How Good Timing Makes Great Products, helps readers better understand how timing impacts their startup's success. Paul, thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, Jim, and thanks, Salome. And thanks to all the journalists who are here. This looks like such a great event. Really happy to say a few words. So a little bit about me and maybe how it's relevant here today. I'm a former startup founder. This is now going back about 10 years, and learned a lot of lessons the hard way. Definitely back then in figuring, okay, who's our real customer, and like how should we actually be building something to serve them. Since that time, I've really kind of stepped back, and rather than doing another startup, I've been building startup accelerators and teaching. So I've run a number of these programs in different parts of the world. And as Jim said, day to day, I teach at the University of Southern California and run the on-campus startup incubator program. We'll hit the 250th company in the next week when I bring a new cohort in. Something I guess I'd like you to consider in your own work, for the startups here is, that timing question, that why now question. So how do you figure out that this is the right time to enter a market? What are the clues that you can get? I always found, that this was, this why now question was something that investors would bring up a lot. And I never really saw anybody go into a lot of detail. So that's what I've attempted to do, over the years. First by workshopping this, and then, in the last few months by writing about it. So if you want to, maybe get a perspective on how you can think about why now in your own work, I hope you check out that book, which is called Why Now? How Good Timing Makes Great Products. And then lastly, I just want to encourage everyone who's participating today. You're really here because of a lot of these new powers that are unleashed by recent developments in AI, and a set of new capabilities that's really dramatically changed in just a short time. So certainly looking forward to hear more about your businesses, and I wish you all the best for today. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Paul, for the well wishes, and it's always great to host you. I wanted to mention as well for everybody on the call today, all the panelists, people that are presenting, media judges as well, we'll be sure to send a copy of Paul's new book as well, so you could check it out. So yeah, thank you so much, Paul, for your kind words. And also, we're very happy to introduce our next special guest, Ganis Kesari, who is the Chief Decision Scientist at Strave, a multinational data science and artificial intelligence consultancy with over 15,000 team members servicing Fortune 500 clients. Ganis also helps Executives and founders scale data-driven decisions to help transform their organizations. And he's a regular TEDx speaker and contributor to publications like MIT Sloan Management Review, Forbes magazine, and Entrepreneur magazine, among others. Ganesh, it's really great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Salome and the Bliss team for having me. It's great to meet all the media judges and the startup founders. I'm a second-time startup founder. The first company, Gramner, which I co-founded about over a decade ago, was acquired by Strive, and like Strive is what you see here. So Strive is a private equity-backed company. Now we are part of the larger family and 15,000 plus members globally. And we are over the last year, we are excited to take on bigger challenges. And AI data storytelling is a strong part of our offerings in the market. So I'd like to share my personal experience and what I've been observing. While when we talk about AI, the first thing that comes to mind today is hallucination, making up facts, or stealing jobs, or taking over the world. But I view AI as a positive force and something which can be put to good use. And in fact, my TEDx talk was on how AI can save our world and save our biodiversity. I'm very proud of some of the work that we had done, which is on identifying endangered species around the world in partnership with Microsoft Research. And we had used AI to count penguins in Antarctica, identify elephants at risk in Africa, and also identify salmons in Washington state to identify the ecological balance. So AI has a lot of potential. We're just scraping the surface. And I would strongly urge the founders and the other people listening in today to see how we can create impact in the world with data, analytics, and AI broadly. There's huge demand, and it doesn't have to be not for profit. There's also commercial potential with that. There are several foundations willing to fund it, and the planet needs it. So I hope we continue to deliver impact with AI, and also measure the impact created for enterprises and for the planet. Yeah. With that, my best wishes to all the founders who'd be pitching, and look forward to hearing them.
Ganesh, thank you so much. Great words of inspiration. Really appreciate it. And congratulations on your journey as well. I know some of these founders are a little further along, and some of them are kind of starting out as well. So it's great to see somebody kind of at the end or in the middle of the journey as well. So congratulations, sir. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and hop right into introducing our media panel. Judges, if you wouldn't mind unmuting, coming up on stage after I read your bio, and then we can put a face to a bio. First up, we have Walter Thompson, who's the host of Fund, Build, Scale, a podcast that looks at the ins and outs of building an AI startup. Guests for the first season include directors and executives from companies like NVIDIA, Intel, and Nextdoor, among many others. Before launching his podcast, Walter was the editorial manager of TechCrunch, one of the world's most influential startup and technology news publications, and his journalistic work has been featured in The Guardian, San Francisco Magazine, Alta Journal, Hoodline, and many, many others. Walter, it's a pleasure to host you.
Thanks for having me, Jim. I really appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Yes, sir. Also happy to introduce a friend, Victor Day, who is a technology journalist covering artificial intelligence, data science, and emerging technologies. He's currently a contributing technology writer to the New York Observer, one of the city's staple publications covering business, culture, and media. Victor is also a former technology editor at VentureBeat and holds a master's degree in data science and analytics, which provides a really unique perspective to his reporting as well. Victor, thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the great introduction, Jim. Great to see all the startups here and a few friends on the panel as well. Shubham, there's Thomas. So to everyone presenting today, all the best, and hope to learn something new today.
Thank you, Victor. Also, we have Thomas McCullough, who is a senior reporter at The Next Web, a leading technology news and events publication based in Europe and owned by the Financial Times. Thomas covers European tech, focusing on AI, cybersecurity, and government policy. And before joining The Next Web, he was a senior online editor at IDG. Thomas, thank you so much for joining us as well.
Thanks. Pleasure to be here. I've done a few of these now, and they're always a good time. Always excited to hear the latest in startups.
Thank you, sir. We love having you as well. So thanks for coming back. Next up, we have Shubham Sharma, who is the data infrastructure editor at VentureBeat, a leading publication covering transformative technologies in the enterprise. Shubham's coverage includes startups that focus on AI, data technology, and data strategy, among many others. And before joining VentureBeat, Shubham also covered deep tech for publications like LiveMint, Tech Circle, VC Circle, as well as the International Business Times. Thank you so much for joining us as well.
Thanks, Jim. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited to see all the pitches and looking at the innovative technologies that they have on offer. Really excited.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, a friend and colleague, Navanita Sachdev. She's the editor of Tech Panda, which is one of India's leading technology news publications, and she regularly covers AI and the gaming beat. She's also a frequent contributor to some of the country's largest media, including the Hindustan Times, Indian Express, and the Business Standard. And she also writes for other US publications like Entrepreneur Magazine and Hacker Noon, which is a technology news site with about 4 million monthly readers. Navanita, thank you so much for joining us as well. It's always a pleasure.
It's always exciting to be here, especially now that it's AI. I'm really excited.
Heck yeah. All right. Thank you so much again for the media panel for taking time out of their busy days to be with us. We'll go ahead and we'll start the pitch competition. I'm going to bring all companies on stage and I'll pass you the presenter role on Zoom so you can share your screens. You'll be pitching for 2 minutes and I will be timing you. We do have 7 startups today, so I'll be kind of strict on time, but I'll give you about a 10-second heads up when it's time to wrap. After each presentation, we'll open up for feedback, comments, and questions from the media panel. Judges, feel free to just raise the hand on Zoom or speak out and ask questions or provide feedback. This is really a space for the founders to learn, etc. We will go ahead and start off the competition. Folks, we're going to bring up our next founder or presenter. We have Jack Raifer, who's the head of data science at ADA Intelligence. Jack, give me 1 second and I'll pass you the presenter role.
Perfect.
You should be able to share your screen now, sir.
I am. All right. Can you hear me okay and see the screen?
Yes, we can.
All right. So let me introduce you ADA Intelligence. And what I want to talk to you about today is that better data leads to better skills, which will lead you to a better life. So this is ADA. Hello. And it's an artificial intelligence built for one sole purpose. And that is to help you measure social and emotional skills. A big fact of life that they've discovered already is that the better your social emotional skills, the better your life outcomes. These are completely related to one another, and we already know this. The problem, and the big problem right now, and all of these organizations from the World Bank to the OECD have already signaled it, is that we need a reliable and accessible tool to be able to measure social emotional skills. We're great at measuring everything else, but social emotional skills are much more difficult to measure by themselves. In other words, we need better data. So we put together our team of amazing people with a lot of experience in many areas. And we actually took together thousands of studies on social emotional skills and psychometry. We added the magic of machine learning, and we can talk about that more later because it's a lot more complex. And we're actually building assessments that have a 95% or higher reliability for measuring social and emotional skills. Our solution itself is we built a software as a service assessment platform with a business-to-business model. We have user-based pricing starting about $60 per person per year. And you can build your own assessments because If you want to measure particular skills that are important to you, you can build your own assessments. Everybody that does an assessment gets a personalized report, and you can actually run unlimited assessments, because it's important for us that you are able to measure today, and you're able to measure again in 2 weeks, 2 months, or 6 months to see how far you've improved on those particular skills. Today, we're able to measure over 60 different specific skills, and it's going to be about 100 by the end of the year. The platform also allows companies and organizations to get all the collected data, and they'll see what areas they need to work on, what areas they're very strong on, and exactly what they need to do and train. We're very, very committed to ethics, and because of that, we actually won last year the GSA award for safe and trustworthy AI. We're also part of the Dohe Global Accelerator in London, and we're part of the BIDS FairLAC, which is the lab for the use of and ethical and responsible use of AI in Latin America. Currently in the market, we're in Latin America, the States, and parts of Europe. We're both in English and Spanish. And I really hope you can join me to, have better data that can help you build better skills and lead you to a better life. Thank you very
fantastic, Jack. No, thank you so much. And under time as well. Not easy to do, but thank you so much. Great presentation. We'll open it up. We'll start with Shubham, and then we'll go to Thomas.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack. Nice presentation. The question I have is how many enterprises are using your product right now, and what kind of results are they seeing after measuring these skills that you've mentioned?
There's quite a few of them at the moment, because we've been running tests for a while already as well. Well, we ran tests for a while before we finished up with the product, and the kinds of results are very interesting. People are getting really impressed, because this is not something that's giving you a broad sense of what your skills are. It's being very specific. Just to give you a very example, it's not just empathy. It actually measures in different ways: cognitive empathy, which is your ability to see what others are feeling and to perceive it, and affective empathy, which is the way to connect with other people's feelings. And this is just to give you one example. So the fact that they're able to see the specifics, and actually the customized report gives him specific things that they can do to improve those particular skills, is actually helping companies actually train and hire the right training for this, and not just hoping that the training works, because generally they hire great trainers, they do the training, people say, oh, we love the training, but they don't know if it actually worked or not. Now they actually know if they're actually improving all kinds of social emotional skills, from communication to leadership, etc.
Okay, so what data points are collected from the employees if somebody is being measured, tested with this product?
So we're actually, so our AI, what it does, it builds very high accurate assessments. So they get sent the assessment. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to build it. And they actually just do the assessment. It's actually very easy and very quick. And we collect that information. It gets summed up in the ways that we've actually built the scoring system, and sends them back the report.
Thanks, Shubham, for your question. We'll go to Thomas.
Hey, Jack, interesting presentation. I just say instinctively, I'm a bit wary of this concept of kind of quantifying social and emotional skills automatically. And I guess it kind of makes me worry that you're kind of creating a homogenous ideal of behavior. What would you say to someone like me who has those kind of concerns?
Well, there is a lot of background regarding measuring all kinds of things. Originally personality, and I'm talking about scientific, like for example, Ocean and Hexaco, which are the big scientific models, and we know it works. And it's been used for a very, very long time. The problem is that it's very complex to actually do it, because it takes a lot of professionals and a lot of people going there and doing interviews, etc. So that's what we did with our AI. We put everything together in a way that it actually goes out very easily for other people. And again, because we're measuring so many different, very, very specific skills, we're not putting people together in bins. We're not telling you. So, for example, we're not going to tell you, oh, it's bad that you have a low sociability skill. That's not necessarily a problem. The thing is that you're going to struggle with this part of life. And if you have a high sociability, this is going to help you. And again, this is not good or bad. Being an extrovert or being an introvert is not a bad thing. It's just something that is going to give you some advantages in some cases and some disadvantages in other cases. And that's the kinds of things that we just need to measure. So we're not actually putting together people in boxes. We're actually just telling you how from the central point, either higher than average or lower than average, you are on a particular skill compared to everybody else.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Thomas. We'll wrap it up with Walter.
Thanks, Thomas. Question. Oh, sorry, not Thomas. Question for you, Jack.
Sure.
The two questions actually. Who are you competing with today, as far as like who's serving a similar service or product for an enterprise customers? And then the second question I have for you is, are you familiar with Netflix's Keeper test, as far as their employee kind of yes or no kind of who do you want to, who is there, it's something they use for kind of culling employees, as far as they ask managers who could you do without if you had to fire someone today, and kind of it seems like data points like this would be useful for decision making. But anyway, my main question, who are you competing with? First question, basically.
Yeah, so a competition, there's actually a few. They probably have a different perspective on social emotional skills than we have, mostly because for the very longest time, and this is something that we've debated for a long time, we've actually confused a lot of what we call personality is not personality. It's actually skills, because if you're, for example, if you're a responsible person, that has nothing to do with, it's not something that's embedded in you, because a lot of people can change from being irresponsible to responsible and the other way around. So these are all skills. And the fact that we're able to just distill them to the very, very basic skills helps actually make a difference, because you can be very disciplined and yet very irresponsible, and vice versa, because these are two completely different skills. Although they might have certain correlation, they are different skills. As for the Netflix one, yes, I've heard of it. And yes, here's the thing. Yes, you could use data points like this to actually make decisions for hiring, firing, who to keep and who to do. But this is also going to help you build the right teams. So for example, the skills that you need to be a salesperson are completely different than the skills that you need to be a customer service agent. And they're completely different from the skills that you need to be to manage a team. And they're completely different from the ones that you need to be an entrepreneur. So if we can actually distill them, and again, I'm not saying I know which those skills are, because it's going to depend on what you're doing and what you're selling. But at the end of the day, if you have all these data points, it's going to help you make much better decisions. But the most important thing, it's going to allow you to train your team to get it to the social emotional skill level that you need them to have.
Thanks, Jack.
Very cool, Jack. Very sci-fi. I like it a lot. Congrats. Yeah, congrats on everything you guys have built.
Thanks.
All right, but I'm hoping that we can open up for a quick Q&A as well for the founders here. If anybody would like to ask any questions of the judges. I think Jack has his hand raised. If you want to ask a question, Jack.
Yeah, I do have a question, and I'm taking advantage of that you're all amazing journalists. As a startup, what is the right way or the best way to approach the media to tell our story, to get journalists interested in our story, so that we can get out there a lot easier?
Yeah, Shubham, please go ahead.
Well, for one, the technology space is a lot cluttered today. I mean, for every problem, there are like dozens of solutions. So for journalists, the best way, for me, actually, the best way is to reach out with what is unique, what is different, and what kind of problem you are solving. These 3 points that I look at. When I look at a company and its technology, I focus on these elements and see whether it's relevant and what kind of impact it is having. And then I consider it if it is worthy for a story or not. Because if everybody is doing the same thing, then why? That's the thing. Yeah.
No, great feedback as well, Shubham. Maybe Thomas, if you wanted to add to that as well.
Yeah, sure. I definitely agree with Shubham. Emphasize what's unique about it, but also it's useful if you can personalize your pitch to the specific journalists and their interests, as well as the outlet they work for. Some reporters might be really interested in the underlying technology. Some might want to know about the kind of social impact. So it really helps if it shows that you've kind of done that research and targeted it to their own sort of interests and work.
Maybe don't send Thomas any pitches about pet food or the latest restaurant. Walter as
No,
well.
I'd take both those pitches. Both those would be appreciated, actually.
Oh, okay. Walter, please go ahead.
Yeah, I would just say, like, if you can credibly claim or present yourself as having not solved the problem, but kind of just addressed the problem that had been out there for a long time. It's kind of the same kind of, I think reporters are looking for many of the same proofs investors are looking for, as far as, does this work, or do people think it works, or that sort of thing. And so I think I would lead with that, as far as if you have something that you think actually is solving a problem for people, then that's how I would frame the pitch to a reporter. I came up with my team came up with something that'll let people book X% more patients in their dental practice. Like, that's a really, that's clear, or something that basically suggests value, I guess, is the thing. As a reporter, that's what I want to write about. I want to write about things that other people think are valuable. So
fantastic. We'll go with and thanks, Jack, for a good question as well. We'll go with everybody else. Thank you very much for your questions as well. We do have the set of third, second, and first place winners to announce, and we want to bring back on screen our special guest speaker, Ganesh Kesari, Chief Decision Scientist at Strive. Ganesh, sorry for the delay in getting you back on, but thank you very much for being with us. We'll go ahead and pass it over to you to announce the winners, and I'd like to also invite everybody to unmute. We'd love to applause to everybody when they win, and everybody did such a great job. So, oh geez, Louise, I think he might have. I think we might have gone a little bit over time for Ganesh, because I know he had to jump to another call. So my sincere apologies. I'm gonna go ahead and read them out right now. Actually, Salome, I'll pass it to you if you wouldn't mind reading them out. My sincere apologies, guys. The Q&A session was too good. Yes, Salome, if you wouldn't mind reading them.
I'm going to start with in third place we have Ruben from Good Guest.
Fantastic, Ruben. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ruben. Then moving on to the second place, we have Jack from Ada Intelligence.
Hey, Jack, nicely done, sir.
Well done, Jack. And then in our first place for today's competition, we have Arjun Loan, founder of Provio. Arjun, congratulations.
Hey, Arjun.
Congratulations all.
Thank you so much.
Hey, fantastic, Arjun. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you to all of the founders who presented with us today. I know we've held the media judges longer than we've asked them, so again, a big special thanks for them as well. I wanted to mention, if anybody would like to connect on the backside of this and continue the conversation, where we'll be sure to send everybody's info. And, of course, this is a place where we can connect and kind of keep growing from there. But thank you very much as well to Salome, who got this all together on the back end as well. And we hope to see you guys at a future Connect event, but congratulations, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.
Bye, Jack.
Jack.
Bye, Navanita.
Bye, Victor. Bye, Navavita.
Bye, Victor. Bye, Shubham. Hey, thanks so much, Shubham. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.